they're going to have a very strong mid-game, but SK Telecom, with the Cassid and the Sivir, should outscale them late. So they have to be pretty careful with this one, especially since if Marin gets too huge on Renekton, they will have a very difficult time killing him because their composition tends to be quite bursty and lacks a little bit of sustained damage. That is one of the problems with picking Morgana top. You get that AoE crowd control, and you get the black shield, but you don't get good damage output, and Corki going to be a little bit hamstrung unless he gets a lead. So Trace actually coming down here really early. So the lane swap coming in, but actually Bang pushes it all the way to the turret. Meanwhile, a freeze up at the top side. So SK Telecom actually not doing the best with this lane swap so far. That's hugely problematic.
Well, Bengi, we'll see. I was going to say, are we going to see one of these early Jarvan ganks that we've been seeing a lot of lately?
GBM's too smart for this. He doesn't know where Nami on the map is. And this is already different than JIN AIR's game that we saw against IM, where they were playing pretty poorly without knowledge. GBM.
Oh, GBM could still be in trouble. Has to flash. And so they do burn that summoner. Bengi used his as well, though. So it was a summoner for summoner, but it does give EasyHoon a little bit of an edge in the 1v1.
Right. Now he has to be extra careful in this lane. Doesn't have those wards. Che moving up into the top side jungle right now. He's going to get a ward down right by the Raptor pit for some deeper vision to keep eyes on that top side of the map.
Yep. And I think at this point, after seeing that action in the mid lane, Che doesn't have to worry about walking into being killed yet again like we saw him do in the other match.
Yeah. 3 players up on top side right now.
A dive on Marin, potentially, from JIN AIR. All right, here we go.
He's already chunked out. Uh-oh.
That's right. Marin could be in trouble. He's lost a lot of health already. Oh, the whirlwind misses, though. If that had hit, that could have possibly been a kill, but at least they got the summoner.
Marin very ready for that gank.
Yeah.
But that'll make him a little bit more apprehensive in the future. EasyHoon going to play pretty far up on GBM right here. Cassidy going to do pretty well in this matchup. GBM can't really harass him unless he gets in range to hit him with the Cassidy Q, so he'll be able to trade Qs favorably.
You know, Jay's still there for now. You know, I always wondered about Lissandra because, you know, why does she have to yell with every, like, auto attack and everything? Because even, like, baseball pitchers who throw things aggressively for a living don't, like, go, "Wah!" every time they throw.
It's like kendo. You have to yell out the ability as you use it.
That's true. Do you think she actually yells at the ability name or just the letter?
I don't know.
We're getting meta here now. Q.
Well, potentially an early dragon right here after a big wave is pushed into the bottom side turret. Trace will be reluctant to leave this one alone. He will get his level. Chaser is spotted with some of these wards.
Yeah, will he spot this dragon, though?
Yes,
he will. He has his
GBM is back. Wow, SKT, I feel they're playing it safe. They're playing it safe. But without GBM in the mid lane, they may have been able to do something with that. Instead, Trace will pick up a lot of that farm and experience down on the bottom side, already with the double Doran's rings. So.
I do like this from SKT, though. We're seeing, like, zero cockiness right now. They're playing it ultra methodical, and I think that's definitely what you need to do against a team like JIN AIR.
Both these teams have, especially JIN AIR, who looked so sloppy in the early game.
Yeah.
Against IM, their wards are much better already. They're not taking the same risks when they don't see people on the map, and it's looking a bit better for both of these teams, I agree.
Yep, seems like they learned their lesson. Too bad those lessons came with a match loss. But, you know, sometimes that's what it takes. Oh, Bang, getting a little bit of mana back there with that spell shield.
Chaser and Chase still going on to Marin. So they're trying to shut down Marin. They tried to shut him down in picks and bans. Now they're trying to camp him.
Well, he's gotten, Trace has been able to get a bit of a CS lead between the 1v2s. So it's kind of working.
Yeah, Bengi having to spend a lot of time in the top side. Now Pink Ward cleared out. Chase still in the brush. Chaser will be retreating.
Oh, Bengi walks right into that one. Looks like Chase should be able to clear out the sword.
Sweeper wars.
Yep.
And they're not going to be trying to make a play on Marin under the turret, instead just denying some CS and getting Trace that lead. So JIN AIR looking good. They do have a 500 gold lead at the moment due to some CS advantages that we've seen develop between Trace and Marin.
Yeah.
Marin will be catching up a little bit after this wave, but this is what they wanted right here.
Faker's starting with the Negatron cloak. Do you think he's going to go for like a quick Abyssal Scepter or something?
GBM, yes. He will be going for the Abyssal Scepter.
Interesting.
Because of the damage from Corki and Morgana, this
Makes
is actually
sense.
a really fantastic starting item.
Yeah, it gives him a little bit more sustained against EasyHoon as well, too.
Right, prevents him from being bursted down,
Yep.
and really benefits the rest of his composition. And that's going to empower their mid game even further than it already is. So JIN AIR should be looking to get a very substantial lead. Now we see the lanes swapping back over into normal configuration as Pilot hits that level 6. So he's no longer really at risk of getting bullied by the Sivir. Chaser's going to find Wolf.
Yeah, he will. Wolf in a little bit of trouble here, make that a lot of trouble. There's the flash. Pilot flashes ahead to try to get that kill. There's the knock-up. They'll get him with the whirlwind. Will Wolf escape?
Rocket.
Trying to heal himself. Rocket, oh, but it's going to be a kill for Chaser. They're going to lock down Bengi. That is 2 for JIN AIR. Bengi came to try to help out, and there was nothing he could do.
And now they're going to take this dragon, which was so carefully warded by SK Telecom. They're going to lose a lot of money while these wards are cleared out as well. Trace going to keep the mid lane pushed up. Love what he did right there, pushed up top. And GBM was free to move on the map because he had the pressure advantage in mid lane, and Trace will be able to easily catch this wave as well. So just maximizing his CS right there, and that's a really good decision by Trace, and it's those little things that can make a difference. Now Trace hitting level 7. Marin trying to make a play on the blue, but Trace getting the read.
Man, League of Legends has gotten really dangerous for supports lately. Everyone's getting caught out in the river or going to ward.
Well, that was the mistake Che made in the last game, and Wolf flashes, tries to get out of 3 flashes used right there.
Good knock-up from Che.
Pilot
that really saved that one.
just guesses the wrong direction, but the Q comes across Bengi. GBM flashes over the wall, so a lot of summoners used for that, but definitely paying off for JIN AIR.
I'm not really sure what Bengi was kind of hoping to accomplish there. I mean, you're not going to be able to survive, well, certainly not survive long enough, but you're not going to be able to delay long enough to save, I mean, that situation either. But at least somebody cares about the supports. That's what I like to see. So props to Bengi. It's the thought that counts, Bengi.
Is it?
It is,
It's not the win, the game win that counts?
For me right now, you know, they could still win. You can't call this one over. Did you just call this game over?
I did not.
9 minutes,
I did
Monte
not.
Cristo.
No.
I can't believe you did
Stop
that.
putting words in my mouth.
Wow. I can't believe you did that. Props to Bengi. He's the best. Besides Lee, who's actually the best.
Besides Chaser, you mean, who's actually the best. Oh, Marin actually ult for ult trading with Trace up in the top lane. And Trace continuing to harass him. Just has the Codex right now.
Slicing and dicing.
Chaser.
Oh, he's going to find Marin right there. And they're going to slow him down. Q connects. Marin could be in a bit of trouble here. He's got no flash. Can Chaser finish him off? Oh, flash kick. Marin away from the turret. There's a slice and dice zone. He gets back. Chaser misses the Q.
Could have had the execute right there.
Yeah, he could have gotten it.
That was a really nice little trade. Got the flash out as well. Traded flash for flash and bought Trace a lot of time up in that top lane. Now Marin is going to have to teleport or lose this wave. Walking all the way back to base. He's going to miss some CS regardless. EasyHoon clears out a ward in the mid lane.
Yeah, people may say, well, oh, Tracer, he flashed for that and they didn't get the kill, but it really isn't about the kill. It's about, like you said, the time that they give Trace and just kind of snowballing that top lane.
And the teleport used. GBM taking a little bit of damage right there from EasyHoon. EasyHoon will eat some auto attacks in response. Bengi right there, though, seeing if he could bait an all-in, so Bengi could come in on the mid lane, but GBM a little bit more conservative right there. And now Marin down a teleport, so JIN AIR with TP advantage for the moment.
Yep.
That Soul Shackle nearly up. They could use this to pretty great effect. GBM a little reluctant to move forward. His flash still down from the kill onto Bengi.
He should be very careful right now. Jarvan is certainly the type of jungler that can kind of show up quickly too.
Yeah, I like this. Just go ahead, take a little bit of a hit in terms of CS. Make sure you don't die with that blue buff. Bengi now back in his own jungle. Now he can play forward. Chaser and Che helping him out a little bit by providing some presence around the mid lane.
True enough. Trace losing out on a couple minions there, but no huge deal there. Although the CS is even now. Getting that fast Morello Namicon as well.
Yeah, interesting buy. Especially against Renekton, who is trying to build Tiamat right now. He is going to be pretty vulnerable to a gank, especially Jarvan, and we do see Bengi up on the top side. This could be pretty deadly for Trace, even though he does have his flash up.
He found Bengi. Bengi finds Trace. Trace, Black Shield's not knocked up. Gets trapped by the Cataclysm, though. He's still got his flash. He's not using it there. He finally used it. Chaser comes in with the safeguard.
He was trying to get as much damage down as possible,
yeah, they thought
so that
maybe
Chaser could turn it around. That was actually really good of Trace.
I was worried for a second there, but
he knew his limits very well.
He did, yeah.
And was confident that his teammate was going to show up and save him. Did have to burn his flash in the end, but nearly a turnaround onto Bengi. Had Chaser been there a second earlier, Bengi would have just died.
Yeah.
Chaser now moving down into the mid lane river brush. Che there, helping to push out just a tad.
It's going to be hard to make a play on to Easy Hoon, that's for sure. Looks like Wolf is going to have time to clear out this pink ward. That's kind of nice. Nothing Che can do. Aqua Prison. It's not really much of a prison. I mean, you're only in there for a couple seconds, really. It's more like Aqua Timeout, you know?
That's right. Put you in the water corner for a moment.
Aqua Timeout. It's like, oh man, do I have to go into Aqua Timeout again? And I'm just like, yep, pretty much.
Marin doing a great job through this camp. I mean, this is pretty insane what he's had to deal with. Constant pressure from Chaser. Chaser waiting in the tri-brush one more time. And Marin is pretty squishy.
Well, Marin was one of those solo queue heroes originally too, and so I'm sure being that high up on the challenger ladder, he's probably got a lot of experience getting camped repeatedly in games he plays.
Yeah, that's probably quite true. He does present a rather compelling target for many players. Bengi and Wolf continuing to sweep out these pink wards. JIN AIR not defending them particularly well. There's a dragon now in 2.
Sure is.
And they will take the Rift Scuttler.
Rift Coward.
The Rift Coward refuses to fight. The only thing on Summoner's Rift that won't fight for its life.
Yep.
Just sits there and dies, sadly.
Well, maybe it doesn't fight because it knows it won't die, actually.
Oh.
It'll just go underground for a little while. Tell people where it is. Or what's near it, I guess. This is Rift Coward reporting in. Janice killing a pink ward.
That's right. Just turns into a covert agent.
That's right. Agent Rift Coward.
Well, GBM wants to go get that blue buff right now, but if he leaves, they are going to have some issues with SK Telecom potentially taking this dragon. Che walking up. It's Tornado down, not going to play too far forward without knowledge of Bengi. And the pink ward around the blue buff makes it quite safe for Wolf just to stand there for the moment. GBM gets a shield just so he can put some more damage down onto the turret.
Yeah, why not?
And this is classic JIN AIR here. Chip the towers forever.
Yep.
And just
take some dragons, kind of play the game out slowly.
Yeah, just keep the lanes pushed up. And that's the thing is Chaser's been really good in a tough situation with a team that likes to play with a rather aggressive laning style. Does make your job really difficult as a jungler because you have to have a very good read on the opposing jungler and know where they're going to be so you can counter gank.
Yeah. I'm wondering when we're going to see this next dragon attempt. So far, it's just kind of a battle over vision that SKT. Well, it's no real winner at the moment, I suppose.
Yeah,
SKT has a bit more.
Yeah, just hanging out behind the pit, though, trying to protect that pink ward for the time being. Marin went back and bought Tiamat, so this is going to be a great time for him. He shouldn't have any more trouble against the pressure from Trace's Morgana as he pushes it up with the Tormented Soil. He will be able to respond very well in kind, but he's going to be weaker in that teamfight situation. Blue handoff coming. Oh, that is bold.
Wow, they're just going for it. Marin teleporting down right now. GBM spots it, and they're going to leave that dragon. There's a tidal wave coming through. They get the knock-up onto Chaser. He safeguards away. Teleport coming in now from JIN AIR as well. GBM tries to engage, gets the ult onto Wolf. That could be a kill. Wolf getting really low in the rocket from Pilot will finish him off. Wolf, though,
They
is
still have
not
to be
having
careful.
it. Yeah,
Cataclysm is up.
I was going to say.
So is Renekton's ult.
Well, there's an ult just
That's
healing
smart.
people.
Yeah, good Monsoon right there.
Yep, keeps everyone healthy, and JIN AIR takes that second dragon.
Yeah, and just the cancel in the top side as well. So Marin deciding to take the turret instead of actually ulting in right there. Oh, man, Trace, boss.
For him.
Dark Binding so he can get in and turn it into a 4v5. Trace making the plays up in the top lane. GBM taking advantage, goes on to Wolf immediately, finished off with the missile barrage.
Yep. Whoa, actually, the bot lane, Bengi
nearly dying to Pilot right there.
Whoa, meanwhile,
okay.
Marin just 1v1's Trace. That just happened.
And Trace used his ult right there as well, so bit of a surprise. Still had his flash and managed to die.
Note to self, don't interrupt Marin's teleport. He'll just kill you. Don't make this guy mad.
So a little bit of a turnaround right there. SK Telecom will actually take the gold lead off of that turret and the additional farm they were able to get.
Let's see how this worked out. Trace was not expecting to find Marin in the jungle there, I suppose. And yeah, the damage is way, way too high.
Wow, Trace got really overconfident right there.
Yeah.
He waited a long time to start popping his ultimate. Didn't think that Marin could kill him, and he managed to pay for it as well. He had every opportunity to ult earlier, to flash, to do anything that would have kept him alive. So
that is
a miscalculation from Trace for sure.
That is a bit weird, isn't it? Didn't even flash.
So now they're trying to just have Corki take all of this empty lane farm, and Morgana will be able to push faster. So Trace is going to be a little bit vulnerable to that Renekton with her low amount of mobility.
Well,
at this point in the game.
Switching lanes for now.
Uh-oh,
oh, Faker coming through. Can they catch Bengi? Faker's got his ult. Doesn't look like they want to pursue it too far, though, and that's probably smart.
And now Pilot actually going to get some free damage. He's actually going to be able to take this turret with that Sheen for sure. Chaser secures the Rift Scuttler. Deep Pink Ward not going to be too useful.
Oh, Faker could, or GBM rather, could be in trouble here. Manages to get over the wall. Will they survive? Chaser kicks Bengi back, so it looks like that'll be it. Faker not having to, well, he has no flash to burn, but managing to just get over the wall with the E just in time.
And now Marin, a little bit of trouble. Pilot actually going to P-bomb himself, and Chaser and Jay are here.
Yeah, Marin with no summoners. He's going to try to get some damage onto Pilot, but it's not going to be enough. Marin just taking a lot. The ult not saving him, and that's a kill for JIN AIR.
They had to give up the mid tower for this. They should just push tier 2 up at the top side at the moment.
Trying to recall, looks like instead. No, actually, Pilot's sticking around.
Yeah, he has to stick around and do something right there. They just gave up an objective entirely for free. Trace a little bit late into the mid lane.
Whoops.
And SK Telecom knew exactly where he was with all of those deep wards into the bottom side. Now they're trying to get some damage down, but they're not going to get much. SK Telecom quickly moving up into the top lane to mount a defense. Our mid turret extremely low. Bang will be stationed there to keep the minions off the turret.
I wonder what bot turret looks like right now for SK Telecom, if that's ready to go down as well. Because what we see, with this type of thing from JIN AIR is that it kind of holds off and then suddenly, well, I guess there's not much. Oh, that's a tier 2. Just suddenly all the outer turrets just go down, kind of in succession in a lot of these Corki comps.
Yeah, and we're getting to that point for sure, Doa.
Yep.
And some of these turrets getting really low. Pilot will take the red buff. Chaser finally finds that pink ward and will clear it out. So JIN AIR starting to eliminate some of the ward control that SK Telecom managed to get in their jungle after sending 3 people into the top side. Very close game here.
Yeah.
And that'll be a pause.
So the suspense will only keep building, I guess.
Interesting time so far. Marin actually going for the cowl into Giant's Belt, so wanted to get some extra magic resist, and now just going straight for the HP. I like this.
GBM shedding a tear there, it looks like.
It looks like he's just focusing really hard.
Yeah. Well, he's got to be getting fairly close to his Zonias at this point. He's had that Seeker's Arm Guard for quite a while.
Easyun with an interesting casting build. Of course, we're used to seeing the Rod of Ages first, but no tier this game. Instead, going with that Abyssal Scepter. He really wants that magic resist just so they can actually survive some of the bursts coming in from JIN AIR. We don't see any sign of an Aegis yet.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough. Looks like some family members of Wolf.
Yeah. Well, we know that Korean junglers don't like building Aegis, apparently.
Couldn't see him. His face was turned away from the camera.
I see. You couldn't tell by his haircut from the back?
No, I couldn't, actually.
Really? That's hard to believe. Well, it is the Mighty Bang. Or can we really call him Mighty Bang? It's more like, I don't know, Safe Bang? No, that doesn't sound as good, does it?
The Bengi fan right there, covering her face.
All right. Dandy was on that sign as well, too. It's just she just likes a lot of junglers. Yeah. She just has a thing for the jungle.
I love how these SK Telecom players have labeled their microphones conveniently.
Well, that's good. When everyone's got the same microphone, you know, I mean, you want to know.
I liked how Faker was using Easyhoon's mic last week, though. Looks like there is an issue with Marin's computer. He has backed out of the game temporarily.
Yep. So, I mean, right now, things, like you said, right before the pause happened, things extremely even up between these two teams. And this is kind of, you know, what you would expect if you have both of these teams playing their best, I would say. You know, both teams playing safe, not really taking a lot of risks. JIN AIR, I feel like JIN AIR has a little bit of an edge, but they really need to translate that into a couple more turrets in the near future.
Yeah, they do. They have to take control of the game now because this is where they're going to be at their strongest for the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yep.
And if they can't take a substantial lead in that time frame, they may have some trouble closing this game out, and SK Telecom getting tankier and tankier and tankier will present many obstacles to them with this majority ability power composition.
Yeah, very true.
Aegis, Locket, the tankiness that Marin will be getting in the late game, not going to make it easy, even with so much burst potential. Especially because Easyhoon is building rather tanky himself. I love Easyhoon's build in this game. I think that's smart. Build tanky now, survive until late where Cassidy becomes that big terror.
I agree. Oh, we're back in the game. All right, here we go. So, nothing has happened since we left. Don't worry, guys. You didn't miss anything. Corky's plane is still hovering just a half foot above the ground.
In a brilliant display of aeronautical engineering.
You talked earlier about the value of hamstringing Corky, but I don't think that would actually really help. I mean, he's still going to just kind of float around in his plane.
He doesn't have to have functional hamstrings.
Maybe you just need to siphon his fuel out when he's not looking. But we don't even know if Corky has legs, actually.
That's true.
Come to think about it, we've never seen them. It could be, you know, we don't know if they work. It could be like a Professor X thing, you know?
I love it.
He should have, there should be a Professor X Corky skin, actually. He shoots out like mental waves and stuff. That'd be cool. Professor X doesn't do that, but you get the idea.
Wow, Noah, so it looks nothing like Corky. And doesn't do things that Professor X does.
I like to think outside the box.
Yeah, that's one of your worst skin ideas.
So mean.
Hey, you come up with great skin ideas most of the time.
Thanks.
You've set the bar too high.
That's why
I'm afraid.
I appreciate you so much, Monte Cristo, is your brutal honesty. It's great.
I do what I can for you.
It's true. Be careful, though. We don't want a Reddit thread about how mean you are to me. It's hard to take sometimes.
Oh, boy.
Chaser getting poked just a bit. GBM getting poked just a bit.
Yeah, they couldn't actually do anything about that ward, even though they know it's there.
Yeah.
Due to the lack of range there, GBM will be the one taking it out with the scanner. Trace has joined up with his fellow JIN AIR compatriots. Ooh, Pilot. Take some free shots onto the pink ward, but SK Telecom with a good setup around this dragon, and Marin starting to put some real pressure on the top side as well. JIN AIR is going to have to figure out what they're going to do here.
Well, it's a pretty crucial dragon here. I mean, it's going to be the third for them. It would be the first for SK Telecom if they can pick it up. Nobody to really stop Marin from coming in on this one as well, too. He's just going to recall right now, make sure he's set up as well as he can before the teleport if he uses it. And here we go, teleport coming in for Marin. JIN AIR pushback already. Oh, Trace caught in the dragon pit. He may have to use his flash here. They catch Bengi, though. Can they follow up on this? Bengi gets away. Tidal wave comes through. GBM knocked up. Manages to ult Marin and then flash away. They could be in trouble, though. Cataclysm coming in. The heal from Jay, is it going to be enough? Keeps everyone alive for too much, but oh, it's a two-man double bubble. It's the Aqua Prison. Bengi manages to spell shield the whirlwind. Doesn't look like that connected.
Oh, that was such a close team fight.
No kidding.
Trace a little bit early on the Soul Shackles in that fight because he only hit Marin. Marin able to flash out of the Morgana ultimate. So great engage by Marin. Trace now home guarding up into the top side, and no one's actually going to be able to take that dragon. Too much used.
That was one of the best team fights I think I've ever seen.
Very well played by both teams. I was actually shocked that JIN AIR managed to disengage. SKT, I think, played around JIN AIR's ults nearly perfectly and then counter-engaged really, really well. But Pilot stepping up, great positioning after the double bubble, just walking forward and providing that threat so that his supported junglers don't get picked off. Now Pilot poking Bengi very aggressively.
Yep. JIN AIR has the teleport advantage as well too. Trace can be there anytime he wants. A lot of damage put in by Pilot. Knockups coming in. Bengi nearly goes down. Trace doesn't come over the ball. Oh, he gets him with the dark binding. Not bad, and JIN AIR may be able to grab this dragon now that Wolf is down. Oh, they already did. Well, then I guess that answers my question, doesn't it?
Yeah,
but JIN AIR again.
3 dragons, perfect for JIN AIR. This is the advantage that they need going to the late game. Now there's a big clock on with that dragon timer, so JIN AIR will be able to force SK Telecom to fight before SK Telecom really comes into their full power in this game.
Yep, and now those turrets are going to start falling. All outers down by JIN AIR. Looks like they're going to lose their bot pretty soon here as well too, so the turrets will be even up. But here we go, another dragon, another kill onto Wolf, just like dragon number 2.
Well, Pilot has just been amazing with his positioning this game. Look at the damage he's able to put down without getting CC'd or anything like that. And Trace coming in with the teleport, like you said, using that TP advantage. He walked down to the first dragon fight, so he had it up and available, able to push out the top lane and then immediately come back into the fight.
Yeah. Worked out very well.
Trace is going to be able to pick up a Zhonya's almost for sure right here. We'll see. Oh, no, he bought, never mind. He bought the home guard and the Sork shoes, so he's been prioritizing the speed. He's only going to be able to get the needlessly large rod on this back. GBM is really close. He'll be able to get the Zhonya's on his next back, and that's going to be really quite crucial.
Yeah.
For this JIN AIR team. That's when they're going to have an insane advantage in these team fights, is when the 2 Zhonyas come in.
Well, Pilot was able to actually go back and finish his Blade of the Ruined King too after that dragon and fight, and so this is the time. This is where JIN AIR really needs to open up the lead. They've done what they need to do so far. Now they need to kind of finish, you know?
Yes, but because they've gotten every dragon so far this game, and they've played around the dragon pit so well, they have put that timer up in this game, and they can now force SK Telecom to fight, which is what SK Telecom doesn't want to do. They just want to clear waves, get into 35, 40 minutes into this game, but now they have to fight JIN AIR during their period of strength, and they're getting desperate right now.
All right.
So they're trying to set up a pick around this Baron now.
I think they know the ward is there.
JIN AIR doesn't know if they're doing the Baron or not. Marin is waiting. Will they check up? There we go.
They're going to try to get into Pilot. He Valkyries over the wall. Nice response by Jay. Doesn't keep Pilot safe, though. Pilot manages to flash out of that flag and drag, but Easy comes over the wall. Tidal Wave to try to lock that one up. Pilot just way out of position. There's a kill on both sides, though. They do take out Wolf. And now Marin, can he get back to his team? Yeah, a little bit too risky for JIN AIR. And so SKT, very smart there. I think they knew there was a ward, so they just showed near the pit, got JIN AIR to get a little bit too close and made the pick.
And Pilot as well, making a mistake. He had the scrying orb up, and he used it, and he knew that they could be in that bush, and in fact, he checked that bush, but he was too close to the bush.
Yeah.
If you're going to use that, make sure that you're going to, like, look at that. At that point, you should just shoot a rocket into the brush and not even use his trinket. So Pilot, not the best use of that scrying orb right there, and he pays for it with his life. In fact, if he had shot a rocket in there and hit everybody, they may have been able to even turn that fight around.
That's possible.
So I don't really know what he was thinking right there. Instead, Marin going to take the tier 1 at bottom, and that was well played by SK Telecom. Smart move at this point in the game just to drag things out even further.
Yeah, well, that does even things out pretty much exactly again, and now JIN AIR needs to find another edge.
Yeah, the thing, though, is that now there are thousands of gold worth of stats that JIN AIR has that SK doesn't have from the 3 dragons. So while the gold lead might be even in appearance, JIN AIR certainly with an advantage at this stage. Now, double Zhonya's is complete. This is about as good as it's going to get for JIN AIR.
Yep. Next dragon up in about 1:40 right now. So it's time to start getting set up for that. SK Telecom knows it too.
And this is really bad for SK Telecom. With the dragon coming up right after double Zhonya's, I don't think EasyHoon's going to be able to get his Zhonya's in time, which means that JIN AIR has an extraordinary advantage going in because they will be able to do things like flash Soul Shackle and flash using that Glacial Tomb.
Yeah. Well, everybody's summoner's up except for Pilot right
Frozen
now.
Tomb, excuse me. That's the ability name.
Iron Maiden. Oh, Bengi. I think, did he get that? Yeah, they got that. Bengi manages to steal the Rift Sculler.
Yeah, he did use Smite for that, though, so may not be worth it. It will be up by the time the dragon spawns, so looks like it won't have really too much of an effect on this game. Trace just trying to push out the top side before he goes back. Both top laners up with teleport right now. Both of them probably wanting to use that home guard. You can see Marin get the really nice home guard teleport into the last fight.
Yep. Should mention, too, that this is theoretically our last day on 4.21.
Yes.
Well,
been told that we will be on 5.1 next week like the rest of the world is already.
Cross your fingers. And so Che just going to take his anger out on some Krugs.
Frost Queen's Claim, as our observer is pointing out, done for Che as well. That's another great engage-disengage tool. So much crowd control from this JIN AIR composition that they've got to make it work right here. They will be able to defend this pink ward, it appears. Chaser taking it out, forcing another ward out of SKT to remove it.
And they'll probably just go in and sweep that, but they don't even need to. There we go. Dragon started by SKT.
Oh, this is really dangerous. Pilot's not there, though.
Marin's already there.
Pilot's late.
Pilot's not, and this could be a dragon for SKT. They lock up Bengi. Will they make him pay for it? Marin with the ult just zoning, allowing his team to finish it, and they will take that dragon. GBM gets caught a little bit low. Tidal Wave comes through. GBM's ult will keep him alive for now. He's got the Zhonya's Trace already used here. Pilot comes in for a kill onto Bengi right off the bat. Marin, his ult is nearly done. There it goes. Comes in anyway. They get the kill onto GBM, and SK Telecom now at the disengage. They got the dragon, they got a kill.
Ooh, huge moment there for SK Telecom. Beautifully fought again. Marin once more with a fantastic engage into that. Forced the Lissandra ult out. And Trace not able to do much because of the Sivir ult. Everyone kind of getting out of the Soul Shackles behind the team fight. So Marin again doing just really very good positioning. He's the one keeping SK Telecom in these team fights for sure.
Yep,
because we take a look at this, I mean, Pilot was late too. That was the big mistake right there from JIN AIR. They didn't have the poke, and so once Marin gets on top of GBM, there's the damage start coming in. Follow up with the Tidal Wave. Trace will flash forward for the Soul Shackles. Doesn't actually get any CC though due to Bang's Sivir ultimate, getting people out of harm's way. Now Marin will move forward, take the kill onto GBM.
Yeah, really well played by Marin. Definitely delivered the dragon to SKT, and they needed it. That would have been the fourth dragon for JIN AIR, and then suddenly you're on that terrifying moment where every dragon after that for the enemy team is that fifth dragon buff, and if you let them have that, the game is probably not going to go in your favor.
But that little mistake, Pilot not being at that dragon pit at spawn, because he is the poke that they need to force SK Telecom to engage them.
Yeah.
The thing is, JIN AIR has that poke advantage, right? They're the ones who should be poking the other team off of the dragon. And in that way, it forces SK Telecom to engage you. But without that poke there, instead, JIN AIR had to be the one engaging. That's not what they want. And so then they got Marin in their backlines. It turned into a mess.
Yeah.
And JIN AIR, they may now miss that power spike. They really needed that dragon. They really needed it.
SKT needs basically like 7 more minutes. They need to get to like the 40-minute mark, and then they should be in pretty good shape, I would think, against, like you said, the power spike from JIN AIR.
Yeah, I think they may have already reached it. We'll have to see at the next fight, but it's going to get really rough from here on out for JIN AIR. EasyHoon will get his Zhonya's momentarily, and I don't think JIN AIR can win the game after that. Barring, of course, a massive mistake from SK Telecom, but all other things being equal.
Yeah, not really a lot of mistakes on either side. Just little tiny things for JIN AIR. It's really cost him in that last dragon fight. Pilot on the run, Chaser. They're trying to take this blue buff. Bengi right there with this smite. Looks like JIN AIR will be able to get it. They will. GBM takes the blue.
GBM, not with a lot of gold so far this game. He's been a little bit poor.
Yep.
You see he has the, interestingly, the distortion enchantments in this game. He got that pretty early on. Needs to have that flash up so he can engage onto the back line whenever possible, because that's their only hope. The Renekton is, now that he's got that Thornmail and the Randuins, he's reaching kind of unkillable status for JIN AIR. They need to kill the back line before they can collapse onto Maran.
Yeah.
So we'll see what kind of flanks they can get.
Pilot's got his last whisper, but, you know, again, this is where Corki's damage starts to fall off just a bit.
He's also trying to build into a Banshee's Veil at the moment just to keep him safe from Easy Hoon, who will have him square in the crosshairs.
That's right. Although Corki always has everybody in the crosshairs. He's got crosshairs on the front of his little plate. They're actually there.
Are they?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't see them.
Pretty sure.
All right. I haven't taken a good look at Corki.
Maybe it's only the splash art. Stop moving, Pilot. Let us see. Oh well.
So SK Telecom here can play this one up just by the books. Start getting that control around the Baron. You can force the team fights now at the Dragon because JIN AIR really needs those.
Yeah.
And they should be feeling comfortable. Their damage output going to be very good in the late game with this Sivir. Sivir, of course, if she ever gets a QSS or even a Banshee's Veil, will have another way of removing some of these spells. Bang will go ahead and Spell Shield. A Dark Binding right there as Marin looks for a flank.
Yeah.
Pilot.
He could also jump onto Pilot here as well, too. He's deciding which is going to be the more advantageous decision right now. He kind of loses his opportunity for both as JIN AIR moves into their bottom jungle, or top jungle, rather. Oh, and SK Telecom, another Baron bait coming in.
Lots of pink wards denying vision. They have the Rift Scuttler as well. Pilot does have his orb up.
Hello.
He's not going to use it quite yet. Instead, they chance a little peek over the wall with the ward instead, and there it is.
Yep. Spotted.
But that's it. Now they don't have any more tools.
They learned their lesson, yeah. SKT can still keep doing this, but JIN AIR is going to play it a bit more safely. Or will they? Ooh, boy. Chaser getting engaged upon. It looks like SKT wants to try something. Tidal Wave not really going to hit anybody.
Yeah, can't engage with Tidal Wave like that. That's just not going to work. They tried to get some slows in with Caston. Nobody dealing with the bottom wave right now, however, and this will be JIN AIR rushing up the mid lane. 10 seconds until Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, they're caught in a really rough position.
Yeah, they're going to have to fight their way out of this one. GBM getting jumped on. He locks up Bengi. There's a knockup. Bengi Cataclysms in onto Trace, but he gets taken out anyway. Easy and pops that Zonia's right away. Trace's ult nullified that way. Marin comes in looking so tanky now. JIN AIR on the run, and the heal from Wolf, or heal from Che rather, just doesn't seem to be enough.
So they traded Trace right there.
Yeah.
Trace again. Not able to find a good soul shackle because Marin is doing such a good job of getting on top of him.
And Chaser in the brush. They're going to go on to Wolf. A pick there. And can they continue to make it out?
And
Shay tried to use that Spell Thief's Edge, or Frost Queen's Claim rather, but there's a kill for Easy Hoon.
And they're going to have to run away from this one, and they will give up yet another Dragon.
Wow, I mean, Marin's just too tanky. He just gets in the back lines and they have to run.
This is the big issue right now, and Marin's positioning. I keep saying it, in these team fights has been absolutely outstanding. He's forced Trace to use his ultimate in very suboptimal ways so many times. Trace can't get on the back line. He's having to flash away. He's having just to ult Renekton, and then Marin will just dodge it with the slice and dice as we see. Bengi blows up nearly immediately, but it's fine. They don't. Like, right now, using the Lysandra ultimate is great if they can get it onto Bengi. Trace uses his Zhonya's Hourglass, has to immediately flash out, and they kick Marin out, but it's too late to save Trace.
Oh, it looks like they caught Bengi in the jungle, though. JIN AIR back in the regular game just took out Bengi.
Yeah, Bengi trying to get some rather unsafe deep wards, does run into Pilot.
Yep, the dangers of warding.
And meet his doom.
You know, that Cataclysm that Bengi threw onto Trace right at the beginning of that last fight before he died, too, was great. Oh, Easy, you take a lot of damage. Whoa, Chaser going way deep.
And
Easy
now
hit.
here's a teleport coming in.
Yep.
Trace arriving just in case there is a team fight. And now this mid-tier 2 will fall in favor of JIN AIR. So they're able to turn a kill into something right here. They'll look for some opportunities to sweep out a few of these wards around the pit. SK Telecom, this is...
Yep, just the dangers of warding. This is what happens sometimes.
And all of those wards from SK Telecom cleared out. They have the Scuttler now, so no more cute little moves by SK Telecom.
One of those wards did survive, actually, in kind of a unique place just down a bit from the Baron pit. Wasn't cleared out, and it looks like SKT's just going to be able to come in and clear out everything that JIN AIR put down.
Right. Yeah, it looks like that will be happening eventually. Bengi intelligently picking up the Aegis this game. So he will, this is very important item to have against this majority AP composition. So that will shift power into SKT's camp even further than it already was.
Well, Chaser has his own Locket of the Iron Solari as well, too. Just to keep things a bit safer. Oop. Giving Bang some gold from that ward. Wards, plural.
Yeah, so this game, very, very close.
Yeah.
We're almost tied up in terms of dragons right now as well, with SK Telecom picking up the last two when JIN AIR snagged the first three for themselves. GA now for Marin. This is bad.
Yeah.
I don't really see JIN AIR winning this game anymore.
Marin's just not going to die. I mean, the thing is we saw what happens when Marin gets in the back line. He does so much damage that people immediately need to scatter, and there's just no cohesion in JIN AIR's team fights after Marin enters the fray, you know?
Yeah, he's been leading the charge very well this game so far, and we have to remember too that JIN AIR's plan coming into this one was to try and ban out Marin in the top lane, and he went back to an old comfort pick of the Renekton, and now they couldn't kill him enough in the early game, and now he's becoming pretty unkillable. Marin zoning out on the side. Ooh, does actually take some decent damage.
Wow, yeah, actually quite a bit. GBM comes in. Will they be able to blow him out? Not quite. There's a tidal wave coming back. GBM will use that zone as Marin barely surviving with his ultimate.
Now the chase begins, though.
It does indeed, and the rocket nearly connecting there. Marin's still in trouble. They do turn. EasyHoon doing some damage to GBM, who has to use his E to get away.
Nicely played by SK Telecom. We did see EasyHoon and Bang turning right there just so JIN AIR would be forced to disengage. A lot of abilities used.
Well, when Marin is engaged on like that, when it's 1v5, JIN AIR can still handle him. The problem is when Renekton gets into the backlines and you don't want him there, you know?
Well, we also see the fact that Corki picked up an Infinity Edge. And that's
that
the
helps
really
too,
big difference right now.
That's true. Oh, they found
Bengi.
Bengi. Oh, Bengi.
He fell for it.
Yep.
Marin now back. Tried to teleport home guard engage, but it was too late. JIN AIR turning their sights to the tier 2 turret up on the top side.
I like this more than a Baron attempt too. That was way too dangerous. But just rotating quickly up into this top lane, they can get another objective.
Bengi is really giving JIN AIR
he is.
an opportunity to actually win this game.
Here comes Marin, but no real support yet.
Wow, Pilot, I didn't think that. Oh, wow, nice knock-up.
Oh, they caught Marin. Marin in trouble now. No ult for him, and he's going to have to pop that GA. Not quite going down yet.
Okay, so GBM with the death cap finished, and then we see Pilot with the Infinity Edge has made all of the difference now. Honestly, he sold his GA because it actually had him revived. Now he's going for straight health again. Looks like he may be building into Warmog. So Marin getting rid of that item now that the passive is down.
Man, you just do not see Corki comp survive long enough for Corki to pick up that Infinity Edge very often, do you?
No. You know, Doa, I really actually would have sold the Tiamat instead of that GA.
Well, he lost a lot of tankiness by selling that too, you know, even if it was on cooldown.
Yeah, this is going to get scary too because GBM is inching closer to the Void Staff. So that's going to present a new challenge for Marin in terms of survival. I am very surprised that, though, I mean, I keep saying it, but I'm just kind of shocked that Corki's able to do that much damage.
Yeah, what do you know? Maybe we're going to see some
Infinity
more
Edge.
IEs on Corki here
I mean,
soon.
it's a great item for Corki.
Yeah.
I think it's underutilized. People try and play so safely with the Bloodthirster instead.
Well, the dragon being attempted by JIN AIR. This
Marin.
would be their fourth. Marin coming into the pit with that ultimate. Who's going to get it? The big melee in the dragon pit. Looks like JIN AIR will grab it, but getting absolutely destroyed. Marin finally kicked out, and JIN AIR may be turning this one around. They are. A triple kill for Pilot. The damage from this Corki is just insane.
Now they're trapped in there. Bang.
Still, GBM finally gets his
there we go.
Yeah.
So they were actually waiting for the E cooldown right there. Trace hanging around with GBM in spite of having his flash up just so that he could dark bind anybody who came into the pit and provide some extra support. That was actually
the buddy system.
That was really good communication from JIN AIR.
Yeah.
Yeah, the buddy system definitely working in a one fight for JIN AIR. They get the dragon. Now they're on the cusp of their fifth.
That's right.
I think JIN AIR was a little bit overbold with this. Dangerous situation. Marin again, fantastic engage. Does a ton of AoE damage to JIN AIR at the back of the pit, but Che saves them with a spectacular monsoon.
Yeah. Well, the Black Shield onto GBM was really clutch there as well, too. It let him survive longer, do a lot of damage without having to burn that Zonias. In fact, GBM didn't even use his Zonias. He couldn't last fight.
Yeah, actually, Chaser right there, a little bit of a mistake. He used his flash. He should have waited for his W to come up, considering they were already waiting for GBM's E.
That's a good point.
Now, Bang with the QSS. He will be able to rid himself of any Lissandra ults that come his way, so he's not really a viable target for this Frozen 2 many longer.
True enough. Marin, though.
This has been a great game.
It really has, actually, yeah. Marin's got to be a little bit worried, too, now, though, especially after that last fight. He was able to do some damage, but he did not last very long in that dragon pit. Or the Dragon Dome, I guess I should say.
Yeah, he doesn't have any more items now either.
Yeah.
Still just sitting on the Giants. Well,
there we go. There's Warmogs.
There it is. All right.
We should have known as soon as we said something he would immediately buy. That's the cue, you know?
Void Step now done for GBM, though. He is very dangerous.
Looks like a Death Cap may be on the way for Trace really soon here, too, actually.
We're reaching that 6-item point in the game.
Yep.
Really JIN AIR, yeah, JIN AIR really has been able to hang in there. Those picks, a couple kills on the Bengi, have made a lot of difference.
Well, JIN AIR has looked so good this season. Even their losses have come from like really weird stuff and like kind of strange situations that you wouldn't expect to happen, you know, more than once in a season. Some luck, actually, even.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, especially their third game against IM. Yeah. Had they not gotten outsmited like a steal onto that dragon, I think for sure they would have won that game.
SKT had to disengage from Baron right after starting it. JIN AIR was a little bit too close. Trace has his teleport up. Marin does not.
Yeah, trying to put some pressure down. Marin instead going to start stacking up a minion wave on the bottom side, but Marin, or Trace rather, Marin will have his TP up very shortly. However, he is getting cut off from actually farming that wave. They see Easy Hoon up top. So they're going to choose to push down the mid lane.
Yep.
SKT running parallel right now. They will be able to intercept the wave at their inhibitor turret.
Oh, and now JIN AIR right away turning back towards the Baron. They got a couple recalls.
Yep, that'll be a free clear for them.
Yep, they're going to get the vision back.
They are able to remove those pesky little pink wards.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Wow. Pop, though. They're going to try to engage on this. Dark Binding locks someone up already, though. GBM in the middle. Big ult. He's going to use that Zonias immediately as well. Zonias everywhere. Marin got to the back lines, but just got blown up even with his ult. There's the first kill onto Marin. And Pilot, just doing so much damage. Marin ineffective right now. Chaser slowed up for the moment, but JIN AIR, they can just turn onto this Baron.
Yeah, they can. They've got plenty of HP. There's a teleport coming in from Trace. Getting healed up and immediately returning. 5 versus 4. SKT unable to kill anybody. They thought they had them split up, but the Zonias bought enough time for Pilot to auto-attack Marin to death and then Valk over the wall to provide the follow-up damage. Man, Pilot's positioning has been absolutely fantastic in this game so far. Take a look at this again. So they see it. Oh, it actually really does look like a good opportunity. GBM goes in, ults himself, then Zonias himself. Trace also soul shackling at the same time. Meanwhile, Pilot's over here dueling with Marin. Marin's at a 1v3. Marin comes over the wall. Pilot will follow him over. They have a choke at that point that's clogged with GBM and Trace, and so Pilot gets more auto attacks off, and they're able to turn it around. That's a Baron for JIN AIR.
Yeah, and that Baron could very well mean a 5th dragon as well, as there's only a minute left until it comes up again. SKT cannot allow JIN AIR to have this dragon. If
Well,
they do, it is over. Right now, it's over. Well, it's not over. It's almost over. But if they get that 5th dragon, it is over.
To be fair, JIN AIR did have 5 dragons in their 3rd game loss to IM.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that shouldn't happen. That should not happen.
Yes, I do think that mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. Yeah.
But JIN AIR this time looking for this strong push. They want that inhibitor so they can take that dragon as safely as possible. The Baron buff still will be up. I mean, SK Telecom not going to fight this actually. Now they are.
Easy, who just destroyed. Bengi comes in as well, deciding to be the next to donate his life to the JIN AIR Green Wings. Marin, not much he can do anymore. Nice Aqua Prism from Wolf, but it's not going to save their inhibitor. And JIN AIR, with 2 people down, they might be able to just continue pushing here. In fact, they will. Look at how fast things go down. There's a nice heal from Che to get everyone back up again. Marin comes back in, knocked up immediately, locked down by JIN AIR. He's going to go down soon. Chaser exhausted. It's not going to help. There goes the Nexus in JIN AIR. What an abrupt victory after that Baron, and they will take down SKT in Game 1. GG.
Now that's the play that we saw from JIN AIR against Najin.
Yeah.
Very, very well done. You can see they've bounced back from that IM loss, playing much better with vision, playing much more conservatively this game, less of a fly by the